Sorry about that. I totally need to. I had to turn off a couple of my alarms for this because I keep my alarms going to keep me on track. Because anybody who knows me knows I'm very scattered. I can literally just be caught up in things and just like, oh gosh, man, the time. Oh man, I needed to be here, and like I try and invest too much time. Structure is important. See? Oh no, I always receive the answers I need when I'm trying to help others. But structure, something I never learned in life until I'm still learning it. I'm still trying to put it all into action. But all right, so I didn't want to just come on and just be that rant and rave today or anything. You guys expressed interest in the dark feminine, so I'm gonna go a little bit further in depth than that today. I'm gonna use my own placement as um, as reference, and I'll just share myself with y'all today. I don't know. I don't know. I totally believe in keeping. Man. To be honest, to be 100% real, natal charts and like astrology and stuff don't just give anybody your blueprint, the keys to your blueprint. It's the keys to your kingdom. I can see myself in the past and how myself has betrayed me, my lower self, just how that has betrayed me. And but in that betrayed everyone else. You know what I mean? So like even me with the purest of intentions, I would never ever use anybody. I don't even like to read everybody's charts. I'll read a couple of like your main placements, your sun, your moon, and your rising sign. Read a couple of those. Not all the way through, but just like the highlight that comes up on the search. You know what I mean? You know, that's about it. Just a couple of. I always just look at the highlighted area. Just like this is what it actually is about. And the other in-depth stuff, I found that when I would read it, holy crap, for my kids and stuff, it was really in depth. I was like, wow, this can be personal, and I want to do this for others and stuff. So I want to make sure that they can, feel that trust goes both ways, right? So just be aware. There, man, not everybody out there has good intentions, and not everybody out there is aware of the poison within themselves. Not all of us are aware of the poison within ourselves. I'm trying to remember to just chalk myself in as I speak because I get it from here, and and it says you, and I'm just like, all right, well, it's just channeled material then at that point. Okay, but so we all have a placement in astrology. It's called a Black Moon Lilith or the Lilith placement. There's 4 placements for Lilith. I totally hate using names and sigils and stuff now. It's really bothering me to use the names, so we'll just call it the Dark Feminine or the First Wife. Um, they're probably going to actually use the name and stuff, which I really. But it's about the feminine shadow. It's about the will to receive and expecting to receive without doing the labor for it to obtain it, without doing the manifested process where we take it from creative ideal process imaginative to conceptualizing it to making the vision board for it to actually doing the actions. What are the actions that will lead me step by step to doing this, which I have no idea actually how to do. I've never been able to get a vision board to work for myself. Like, I don't know how to do it. Like, so I'm learning. I've gotten journaling and everything down. But like, so the dark feminine is that will to receive without the will to give to get it. You know what I mean? It's a ebb and flow. You know what I mean? Give and receive. Here, give me that bear. I'll give you this nice new one. You know what I mean? So that's what Christ was trying to tell us with that. You know what I mean? Well, I don't know. Christ never wrote a scripture. Here, give me that bear. I'll give you this. That's more subjective. Oh man. So I'm going to use my own placement. My black moon is in Taurus, so it's an earth placement. It's also a very stubborn, hard-headed placement. I'm like, man, I see it. I see it. But I haven't read through this in a while. But I also have some other material from like Carl Jung and actually, what is this site? This your dark side, this shadow aspects of the seven feminine archetypes by. Hopefully, it's down at the end at least. Women love power. Yeah, from Women Love Power. Oh no, it's an article from Women Love Power. And actually, the feminine within us does. That's where that comes from. It's an unsatiable feminine quality about ourselves. It's all psychological. It's all psychological and emotional. That's basically it. There's 5 worlds, and how does this come from one and manifest into the other? How are we subconsciously doing this? That's basically it. But here, we'll get into the article. I haven't read this yet, so we're gonna get into this together. Actually, here we'll start with Black Moon Lilith placement. Why not? Okay. In this article, this is an article by it's astrology.com, advancedastrology.com. It's Black Moon Lilith in Taurus. It was posted May 11th, like 2021, by Stargazer. So proper credit where credit's due. In this article, you can learn about the meaning of Black Moon Lilith in Taurus. Lilith in Taurus is very sensual. People with this placement love the finer things in life, but they often can't enjoy them in a healthy way. Self-indulgence can be coping mechanisms, and they don't know when to stop. Lilith in Taurus people can be overly possessive, fearing loss and discomfort, or alternatively, they can reject the material world of life. This placement of Black Moon Lilith suggests that you don't feel safe in the world. Finding security is one of your greatest motivations. Existential fears are common with this placement. That's actually things I'm working to overcome, and this is actually part of it. Like, I totally don't like being put on the spot. I've always wanted to have the life where I just hide out in everybody else's life. You know what I mean? I just become a part of their life. I don't know, I'm really good at mirroring. I guess it must be part of my path. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm just a soul mirror. People see themselves in it and change their lives accordingly. I don't know. But these are actually things that I actually deal with on a day-to-day basis. This is my dark feminine, and astrology led me to find this. Like, Christ led me into astrology, and I see for a reason. I have a lot of work to do. And since nobody was actually telling me in a healthy way that I had a lot of work to do, it just kind of fell to the wayside because nobody wants to listen to somebody degrade them. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to be told, you're a piece of crap and rah, 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 rah. We tend not to say anything until it's at that point. We got to change that. Yeah. Sunrise is gorgeous. It's getting a little bright. That tones it down a little bit. All right, so Black Moon Lilith in a mathematical is a mathematical point in the horoscope. The position of Lilith tells where you have to face your fears, trauma, rejection, shame. It is often a point of hardship, and it forces you to deal with your shadow self. She knows no mercy. However, if you learn the lessons of Lilith, names are sigils, and it's driving me crazy, actually. I'm going to have to cleanse this place. You become stronger, and you find your own power. if you learn the lessons from that placement in us. It's the dark, the that placement is a dark void. It's where the moon goes void. It's the furthest point. It's like the darkest furthest point from us, or when the moon is at its like furthest point, something like that. It's really crazy. I don't know. I'll pull up a thing and get actual clear about it. But Lilith's nature, Jesus mercy. Her nature is hard, if not impossible, to control. Her rebellious energy can have a destructive impact on the matters of the house where it is placed. The sign of her describes how she manifests. She often expresses herself through extremes. It is hard to maintain healthy balance here, especially for a Libra, where life is all about balance. I'm a Libra more times than twice. I'm a Libra rising and a Libra sun, so you guys see me as a Libra, and I see you all the way a Libra would see the world, and it's like I see it sorely imbalanced. I'm not balanced either, though, so I can't complain about the world, because when I achieve balance, the world will become balanced, right? So, we're ever striving there, and I'm right there with you guys. Just shoot, I want to give you guys some encouragement, show you guys the tools that I found to help me out. All right, now this is going to go into my actual Taurus placement. This might be an ouch thing. I don't know. Yeah, ain't nothing on power over me. Lilith here is under the influence of Venus, which Venus in shadow is the mother of all harlots, the mother of all demons. Venus in her light is the mother of all angels, the mother of creators. You know what I mean? Like, it's a representation like that. But there's so much more to it. There's so much more to it. Venus rules love. What's love in its shadow? What's love in reverse? It's hate, fear. You know, so when we allow this kind of placement to have power over us in our lives, this is what our lives become. And my life is literally a living testament to that. Gotta have self-control. And this placement is all about when we get angry, when we don't agree with what is happening to us, when that second that you become just enraged inside. This placement is how we express that rage. How explosive, the magnitude of it, or the lack thereof, is depending on this placement. Actually, it's the person we are when we are pissed off, when we are hurt, angry, depressed. These qualities come out. Now, unless you're, I don't know, I live more in my feminine traits. I find that, like, I don't know, I was led to this two-soul or two-spirit thing. It's mostly about transgenders and the LGBTQ movement in the native lands. But I find I was led there for a reason. Like, two-spirit, yeah, totally resonates. But I find there's more to it than that. Like, I don't know if that really resonates, then I'm like the hugest lesbian ever. I'm totally not going to get into that because that's so not relevant here, though. We'll do that on another day. But, so this placement literally is the shadow aspects of us when we are pissed off. It's the person we become when we don't like what we're seeing. Oh man, where was I? I know it was at Venus. This placement makes you sensual, feminine, creative. However, these traits can be repressed into the unconscious. What we don't, when we repress things, it just gets expressed in ways that we don't have control over. That's literally really true. Taurus is an earth sign, which means that it is focused on the material world and gaining resources in it. Lilith here, in black hole feminine. straight up, if we, I'm finding self-control comes right into this. If we live to survive, and that's what our resources go to. Like, the divine gave me this job. Like, I love this job. I'm not going to say where I work and stuff because that might present conflicts of, I come on and I present things online in a few public platforms, and you know what I mean, the things I say about the world and the way it is. I don't want to have conflicts of interest. So I'm not going to say where I work or anything, but like, I was given this wonderful job and I'm really grateful. Really grateful. I love the people I work with. Very, very. It's amazing how real people can be. It's awesome. I didn't understand earlier, but so what we do with the resources that we receive in return for it. What do we do with the energy we put out? So, like, I work this job 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, as much as I can. The energy given to us by the divine each night while we rest, we take this energy and we go forth during the day in our conscious waking self, and the world either benefits or doesn't. How do we take that energy? Okay, so I take it and I put it into 8 hours a day and work. Normal people do, especially here in America, if not more in other countries. So we receive a paper money in return, which is, we agree in the beginning, I will work for this rate of pay and this many hours a day for, this time, and you'll give me such and such in return. Well, so God gives us the energy to do that. We go and we recharge with the source each night. We come back and we take that energy and we put it into the world, creatively or destructively. It's our choice. So when we do this, then we receive. What are we doing with those resources afterward? Are we drinking it and smoking it all weekend, and then by Monday we have no more resources, and literally we have nothing to help the world with, is where I'm getting at. But if we live only to satiate our desires, I know a lot of us, money goes to, children and homes and rent and bills and all that first, you know what I mean? That's actually the responsible thing to do. You must take care of yourself or you cannot take care of another. This is like really, really hard for me right here because, man, I'm still learning to put more and more of this into action. So, like, know that I'm not just preaching. It's from experience, and I'm experiencing it right now. It's a lesson in self-control. Like, I have pain issues, so, the divine says that having pain and managing it is not a problem. Even using, kratom as I do, it's not a problem. It's when it gets out of control and how much you're taking, how often in a day. You know what I mean? It's self-control. Anything can be great, but anything can also be super harmful. So learning to work with that energy and where we take our resources at the end. Because if I just dump all my money into weed and kratom every week, and my bills, then I'm not taking that energy and putting it out into the world. That's this, but this is my gift to the world, my contribution. That energy is something that I can give extra. You know what I mean? Here, let me give my resources to it too. Which is actually now I see it. That's literally, the divine was trying to tell me that in a tarot reading, actually, I think yesterday. And I just finally now see the deeper meaning in what the cards were saying. That's quite beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. I always look up. See, that's the programming. I always look up or, down within, programming. But, so, what do we do with our resources? See, this black hole feminine, is there ever enough resources? Stop chasing it. Let it chase you. But that's easier said than done. We have to literally change our whole way of thinking. On a subconscious level, from a conscious level, transferred into the subconscious level, and receiving, allowing for the super conscious level to come through. But even me, like, I'm worried that it's like the super ego that's flipping running all this. Like, It's deceptive as hell. Like, man, the ego is super deceptive, and I just want to help. So I'm just going to share my experience and what I'm learning about life in the moment. And hopefully it just stays subjective. You know what I mean? I don't want to. I realize I'm still healing, so I can't heal yet. I know I'm a healer in things, but like, it's him who. It's the all. I have no control over any of this. This isn't even me. It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be the way I would do it, I guess. But that also comes on a higher level, though, too, because, like, man, you want your highest self to be in control. It, um, Here, we'll get back into that. Ooh. Yeah, here, just to give you an idea of how this continues. Um, so, Taurus is an earth sign, which means that it focuses on the material world and gaining resources in it. Lilith here is a very physical placement too, affecting your relationships with the material world in the first place, your self-esteem, and your need for stability. You have to learn that you are enough and you are talented enough to support yourself. See? Like, it's the shadow aspects. These are like the things that we tell ourselves that really aren't true. Lilith in Taurus indicates that your sense of security is violated. Damn, yeah. This is how I felt for the longest time, but hey, man, I see it. I've seen it for a while. I'm working on it. But now I'm just at the point I'm going to share it just for the simple, this is the Shadow Feminine just in Taurus. It's the Taurian representation of Shadow Feminine. It can be, there's more to it than that. It's just an aspect of it. You can feel that it is not. Ooh, you can feel that it is not safe to have fun, be yourself, or to be happy about the beauty of life. Some people with this placement grew up in an environment where material pleasures were denied or shamed. You learned early to reject pleasure, or you can feel guilt about it. A good way to deal with Lilith here is to treat yourself every now and then to something that you can enjoy with your five senses. It doesn't mean all the time, though. See, I'd get that carried away. I'm not at the point of being able to. Oof. Still at the point of taking away. Lilith here struggles with having enough. Loss is one of her major fears. Yeah, they word this weird. It is hard to let go with this placement, both people and things. There can be an unconscious fear of poverty. Some people with this placement feel that they are only acceptable if they are content with having very little. They can strongly reject the idea of wealth and affluence. Unconsciously, money is often a burning question for you. Yeah, that's 100% true. I've literally had to overcome a poverty mindset, lack mentality, which seriously comes from the shadow. Who tells you that you are not enough? Who tells you that you don't have? You know what I mean? Us, we do it. Nobody else has to do it. We do it for them. With your natal black moon in Taurus, you were shamed for wanting money and resources, which, I don't know, I always felt shamed for, I felt like rich people were the cause of the problems of the world, but I found that's not so. That is actually really not so. I used to always, anybody who knows me knew I blamed the rich people for all the worldly problems, for hoarding the resources, but you know what? They earned those resources. And whether it was honest, good, bad, or indifferent, that remains to be unseen. That's between them and God. When God wants it changed, it'll change. Trust me, it'll change. He'll redistribute when needed. Oh, excuse me. So, shame for wanting resources, craving the pleasures of the material world. Also, it can also indicate that you don't feel worthy of good things. At the same time, you want them deeply. Sometimes people with this placement make bad money decisions, but overall they are good with managing their money. That's so true for me. Like, I need a woman that can totally manage money. But see, I say that, and that's just old programming. Like, I need to be able to manage money. Bottom line. Because if I can't do it, nobody else can do it for me. That's bottom line. Lilith in Taurus is super possessive. When she feels that someone threatens her, her brain goes into panic mode. People with this placement can feel that if they share what they have, others will take everything from them. Black Moon Lilith here lacks faith in the material world, and it can be obsessed with hoarding resources. You hold on to things. Is there? I swear I just felt like a knife just like fucking hit my heart, man. Like, ouch. I dig in the back, but I swear, like, I was going for the front first. Like, Jesus, where is it? Ouch. That's so true. I think that's why the divine encouraged me to do these, actually. To get over that same fear. Like, you guys are God in manifested form. And it's the connections that we're looking for. It's not the material in them. But I see that, like, through growing up in the church, I focused only on the spiritual. And I never felt that there was, like, everybody always said, you know, store up your treasures in heaven. There's nothing, you know, Jesus is coming back any minute. So, well, any minute, then I'd shoot, what the hell do anything for? You know, well, 35 years of my life went by and I had done nothing. It's an awful feeling to wake up to, knowing now what I know now. But that was a result of this, of feeling like this and allowing this to win daily. Daily. Like a defeated mindset. Why go out and fight the war? The battle's lost. Or the war is lost. Why go fight the battle? But literally, a defeatist mentality is literally sucking the life out of our country and our world. And the people who have chosen the lower and are running this, they feed on this. Have you ever met people that thrive in chaos? That they come in and create chaos and then they thrive on it? I swear for God to show me that I must have been one of those. Like, I don't know, but it's real stuff. Astrology is a great way to find what you're looking for within yourself. It's a tool like divination is to bring things out, like tarot brings it out of you. It's not the cards that tell you, no. You are telling yourself the story. The cards just help to bring it out of you. It just helps to connect with the subconscious and the superconscious and allow it to connect and come through. Basically, astrology does that for us. But our main goal is to not be ruled by planets, but be the ruler of them. Quote by Hermes. Credit where credit's due. They all paved the way. I'm just kind of sharing what I found. So, you either live frugally or love to spend. There are no in between. God, they put it there. Like, who wrote this? I love you, but yeah, see, I'm judging. Man, there's something like, see, I battle with this. Like, you know what? Thanks for this beautiful resource. I'm happy to have this. Thank you. Thank you for bringing this across my path that I could bring this to the world and share it further. So there are no in-betweens with Lilith and Taurus. In the natal chart, learning that you can rely on your providing ability and that you are supported is one of the most important lessons of Lilith and Taurus. It can be also helpful to donate if you can and share your resources. It's the one thing I long to do the most, but at the same time, I find that I have to balance it because I always feel that lack, like there's never enough. So I'm learning to balance it. There is enough, there's plenty. How do we tap into it? And eventually, that'll take root, and then it'll become a new affirmation will come that I'm going to, enact and, move to that next level from that, you know what I mean? It's still a shedding and reprogramming. That's We're constantly growing. And if we're not, then we're stagnant. But I see ideal with, man, don't be discouraged by the work in front of you. It's nothing bad. The point is to take it on little by little and not be overwhelmed. This placement can indicate overeating or other issues with food. So anybody, I don't tell very many people, but part of my family is like severely, overweight, and it's unhealthy. It's unhealthily overweight, and I know that genetically we have a huge disposition to becoming that. And with the black hole, feminine, the just will to receive and just keep receiving, our bellies are full, but we're hungry. Thank you, Bob Marley. That's it right there. Them belly full, but them hungry. An angry mob. A hungry mob is an angry mob. They used to control us strictly by our stomachs. Now they use sex and all kinds of other stuff. So, oh my gosh. Yeah. So, food, like, thank you. I found that I would starve myself half the day, the first half of the day, and I'd call it fasting. Which, there is some, it's the intent, the reasons why we do it. If we have subconscious reasons, like I found that I have subconscious reasons to fasting even, that aren't spiritual, that are literally fear-based. Well, I don't want to become fat, I don't want to be like that, so I starve myself, and you know what happens? The opposite happened. Like, I can't gain weight to save my life, man. And I feel like when I do gain weight, I gain too dang much. It's like the constant shifting of the scales of, well, I'm going to eat too much, and well, then I'm not going to eat at all because I feel bad that I ate so much back. You know what I mean? So like, Libras were constantly trying to and get this, like that Fibonacci sequence, how it has to eventually, straighten out and go parallel with that line, with the 0 point line. I know the world all deals with this in our own way. That's why I feel like, I'm going to share it. Screw it. This. I don't want to make anybody else an example. Make myself one. There's 3 of them pointing back, right? So all the more reason to make myself the example. Lilith here can binge as a coping mechanism. It can also happen that you find safety in food, or gain weight as a way to protect yourself from being hurt by others. You are also possessive about food. People had better stay away from it. There's my food in the fridge, Karen. Jeez. I could totally get so much mileage out of that. That's ridiculous. It's going to turn into an episode of The Office, I swear. Which is my true self. I love to just joke and have a good time. If it's going to be, anything, it should always be fun, right? This placement can indicate... Okay, we just did that one. Sorry, I normally move it down. Or up. Intimacy is a very important issue. It is very important to you. You are seductive and sensual. People with this placement in the natal chart are often extremely attractive to the other sex. Lilith in Taurus people love sex. And they are often promiscuous and they like adventures. They can be quite possessive of their partners. And then it goes into like financial things. The meaning of Lilith in the natal chart. Let's get into this. So, like, yeah, that totally, you know what? It all applies. Healing the feminine within, healing the shadow aspects. That's what it's all about. Healing the shadow. Just like Peter Pan had to sew that thing back to himself, you know what I mean? Be wholeness and get them operating together in sync in unison. Think happy thoughts. Oh no, I haven't watched Peter Pan in like 20 years. I'm gonna have to watch that movie. But it's those are the references I'm seeing in my mind. That's what I'm gonna give. But so the meaning of Lilith in the natal chart. What does Black Moon Lilith represent in astrology? First of all, you have to know that there are more Liliths in astrology, and only the asteroid 1181 Lilith is an existing celestial object. The other Liliths are fictional points, including Black Moon Lilith. The moon's orbit is approximately of elliptical shape. Black Moon Lilith is calculated as the second focal point of the moon's orbit. Alternatively, it can also be defined using the lunar apogee. Excuse me. This is the point where the moon's orbit is the furthest away from the planet. See, it's at its... Lilith's astrological meaning is the best understood through her mythology background. This point is associated with the wild feminine. The word Lilith is of Sumerian origin, and it means night demon. This is where the story of the succubi come from. It's said that her and her cohort create 200 offspring a night, or 200,000. And these are cellular energies. As we procreate under certain energies, the dark shadow Eros, not Eros in his light, because obviously this is all happening in the shadow. So the Eros shadow is the succubi are out there like, hey, get with this person, meat puppeting people, and we come together and we make vessels, and the energies that were created by this dark feminine and their cohorts in the spirit in energetic form, we are now being meat puppeted into creating vessels for those to fill the world. Well, the divine has another purpose. He wants us to raise our vibration and raise ourselves up so that we can bring positive souls from the higher realms into this place, and we can't do that unless we resonate on that frequency. We need to fill this world with vessels of light, and we can only do that if we work on ourselves and raise ourselves up and realize our full light. So that's what that's about, basically. I'm sorry it took 38 minutes to get to that point. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch this video too. There's actually a lot in here that I can really narrow down. So, the word Lilith is of Sumerian origin, and it means night demon. According to Jewish folklore, Lilith was the first wife of Adam, and the first woman created before Eve. She was created at the same time, so she didn't want to be dominated, and so I don't know, that it's strange, but it's all just allegorical, but there had to be a physical manifestation of it, right? So Lilith represents the qualities of woman, or the feminine within, because we're all androgynous, we're all male and female. Lilith represents the qualities of the feminine that we cannot express and foster under the pressure of patriarchy. Lilith can be interpreted as the shadow side of Eve. The ideal woman, according to the patriarchy, who is an obedient wife and prioritizes others to herself. Lilith is the exact opposite. She is her own number one priority, and she hates to be controlled. It takes 8 years and 10 months for Black Moon Lilith to transit the zodiac, spending approximately 9 months in each of the 12 signs, so it's according to the time of life. Wow, that's interesting. I never knew that about the placement. Taurus in astrology. That's it on the. Alright, now we'll get into the Women Love Power one, and I've actually, it's 7. I gotta get going. Where is the light? There is the shadow. And where there is shadow, there must be light. If there is one central psychological paradox that Flummoxes? I don't know, Flummoxes. Wow, that's a new one for me. I don't even know how to pronounce that right now. Most humans, that Flummoxes most humans. Okay, just totally, I would say that's a word for like, just totally, we can't conceive it. It's paradoxical. So, I don't know, we probably, in our shadow, we don't see that it can be reconciled, but all paradoxes are reconcilable. They're all relative. It is this, our greatest virtues and our worst flaws, and inexorably connected. They are inexorably connected. Extricably. There we go. They are inextricably connected, our worst flaws and our virtues, because they're just two varying things of the same thing, but different degrees. They're two sides of the scale. Flaws and virtues. In between, you will find ourselves. Okay? It's all relative. So, they are two sides of the same. Oh, Jesus. It's two sides of the same coin. Archetypes and universal images that, according to psychologist Carl Jung, form the basis of all our instinctive, unlearned behavior. As you'll discover below, every archetype has positive and negative traits. The negative aspects, the shadows of our persona, represent emotional blind spots that are our excess baggage, the passions and tendencies by which we self-sabotage. I'm learning about my self-sabotaging behaviors now. It's quite alarming. I learned about Black Moon Lilith probably this time last year. And yeah, it was life-changing, but that's only 1 year of time. That's nothing when you're talking about life changes. So I get it. And I'm trying to be patient with everyone else as I'm learning to be patient with myself. Following is my written work on the 7 feminine archetypes and the personality assessment. I began receiving letters from women all over the world who felt that their shadows kept showing up uninvited, like reckless party crashers, and were preventing them from achieving their personal and romantic goals. With that in mind, I penned this explanation of the 7 feminine archetypes and their shadows in order to help women recognize the source of their dark side. The goal is not to escape your darkness, because we can't. True to form, the shadow is always with us. True to form, the shadow is always with us. It is an inescapable extension of our light. You cannot choose the archetypes. You cannot choose what archetypes show up in your life and instinctively demand their due. But armed with information, you can get to choose how you act on them. Most of us will spend a lifetime trying to minimize or hide our darker qualities from the world. We show up for dates and job interviews, desperately trying to be someone else. We wear masks, we develop defense mechanisms, and enter perennial states of denial. God. Ouch. Yeah. We fear that these flaws make us unlovable, failures even, when in reality your flaws make you who you are. They make you you. They make us, man. It's learning to love those qualities. You are your darkness and your light. You are both sides of Janus or Joannis. It's January. Your shadow, your shadows emerge in instances of extreme polarity, when your virtues run amok, unchecked and balancing qualities. Sorry about that. That tends to get kind of loud. So, when your virtues run amok, unchecked by balancing qualities, this is how creative passion can torpedo into destructive rage, or healthy ambition how healthy ambition can develop into crippling perfectionism. Anybody who knows me knows that I literally do that. It's learning not to. It's learning not to. And it's not easy. Please be patient with me. I am a work in progress. But I'm learning to be patient with you guys, learning to be patient with myself. So, forgive me. I totally forgive you. It's working. It's working. Personal power is being able to choose between dwelling in darkness and dancing in the light. This says the sage, so it's a quote, I believe. The sage's shadow in film Miranda Priestley, The Devil Wears Prada, loosely based on the real-life editor of Vogue magazine. Priestley's strategic alliances in the fashion industry and no-nonsense attitude allow her to thrive in a ruthlessly competitive industry. Her over-identification with the sage make her a cruel boss and insensitive companion. Ouch. Like the ancient Sumerian goddess Inanna, a woman that identifies with the sage archetype is driven by the pursuit of knowledge and proximity to power. She is equally at home in her feminine anima and masculine animus. So she's at home in the body, and she is at home in herself. Hence, more than other feminine archetypes, I'll break that down in another video, okay? Hence, more than other feminine archetypes, she is likely to enjoy being in the midst of male action and power. The sage archetype is proof that pragmatic, powerful women are not acting like men. Rather, they are embodying feminine power, as the strategic, wise sage archetype is a reoccurring figure throughout human history. Among her virtues are strategy, discipline, and emotional objectivity. These are, yes, that's why our light is hidden within our shadow. We have to overcome the darkness, our darkness of this world. And in overcoming our personal darkness, the light expands to us, and then we get to expand it to the world. In the shadow, the sage woman so identifies with her masculine animus that she comes to protect patriarchy and misogyny. Oh my gosh. She comes to protect patriarchy and misogyny. That's why our world is dominated by in a masculine way still, and the feminine is just poured out, basically. If you haven't noticed, it's all mind control, and it's all just to defile the woman's mind that, sex is something just go do it. It's something, it's to get off. You know what I mean? That's all it is. You know what I mean? Go get your nut, squirrel. That's literally it. That's literally what the entertainment industry that's what we focused on. It's not that's not only what they put out, but that's what we've chosen to focus on. Sex sells, and they know it. Trust me, they know it. And women have even been hijacked. Like, women have been suppressed for so long that they resorted to this. That, okay, well, I'll just control all and then I have everything at my beck and call because dudes will do anything for it. You know what I mean? So, like, that's shadow. And it's wrong for dudes to withhold and do the same. Sex is not leverage in marriage. Neither is love. You can't withhold love because you're mad at somebody. I've found that. It's hard to put back into. It's hard to get into practice. Which, as I go through this journey, I literally go through and oh well, yep. I need to ask them for forgiveness. Holy crap! Let's get that done. You know, it's one by one, working your way backwards. Normally, can be a journey, but it's a profitable journey. It definitely it's not. I don't know, it's not materially profitable, but it becomes that, but it's spiritually profitable. There's so much to gain from this. She resents women who express their own sexual agency, and she even suppresses the creative and feminine aspects of herself. Many sage women struggle with vulnerability, emotional, and sexual expression. In the shadow, the sage uses her emotional distance as armor and struggles to emphasize and form guidance relationships, or genuine relationships. This may manifest as stalled or strained with relationships with lovers, friends, and even children. She may be destructively competitive, obsessed with her perfection, judgmental, and potentially cruel to other women. This was so me right here. Oh man, I'm gonna have to bookmark this page. It is 7:07 in the morning, and I've got to actually get all of my stuff logged on. So you know what? Hey, we'll pick this up this afternoon. I'm gonna go ahead and post this one and the other one that's like 5-10 minutes long, I think, right now. But I'll post that one, and then I'll post this one, and shoot, we'll pick up later, and I'll totally get more in depth into this. But I gotta actually be a responsible, functioning adult, and keep my life afloat. So, but thank you guys for, your input and for the ability to come and do this. Like, without you guys, this isn't even, like, I found that just to do it for me was the way to do it. I don't want to do it for clout. I don't want to do it for anybody else. I don't want to do it for money. I don't want anything. I just want the world to ascend. Where I'm going, everybody says it's lonely at the top. I'm a people person. I love people. My shadow has gotten in the way of that for way too long. And I want it to end. So, you know what I mean? I found a good way to share what I've learned and to share what I've been given without becoming too attached to it. Because when I become attached, I want to defend it. Because I'm passionate about it. But anything, the truth, God needs no defending. He's big enough to defend himself. He's bigger than I can. I can't defend him in ways that he can defend himself. So I'm learning to let go. And it's just me letting go, sharing me with you guys. And I'm really grateful for the opportunity to do that. Thank you guys for being here. May you all be healed, sealed, guided, and protected upon your path. In the ineffable name, and in Christ, it is so. Love and light, you guys. Have a great, wonderful Saturday. Oh, Shabbat Shalom.